The first years of the reign of Henry II were successful, as heirs and spares were born to the king and his queen Eleanor of Aquitaine. The king also built a formidable empire, and England had begun to prosper. But as time drew on, Henry became increasingly more troubled with the shocking murder of Thomas Becket and the rebellion of his sons at the centre of his dismal woes. The chronicler William of Newburgh felt that the judgment of God was behind Henry's troubles, and that there were two reasons God was being especially harsh on the English king. William stated that he felt that the king had not shown sufficient enough penance for the death of Becket. This is despite the fact that Henry had made a very public show of remorse in 1174 when he was flogged by the monks of Canterbury Cathedral. Evidently, for William of Newburgh, this wasn't good enough. The other reason William felt that God was displeased with Henry was the nature of his marriage. Queen Eleanor had been married to Louis VII of France, but had grown somewhat bored of the monk-like French king. Eleanor forced her way out of the marriage to Louis, which was granted, in the words of William of Newburgh, with a lawless license, and was in defiance of the church. Eleanor now sought to marry Henry, who was, at the time, the young Duke of Normandy, and who was nearly a decade younger than his would-be wife. Henry was a far more exciting match for Eleanor, but these events were truly scandalous. William went on to say that Henry was a doting father to the four sons that he had with Eleanor that survived into adulthood. William even stated that the king excessively promoted the interests of his sons, but they repaid their father with nothing but treachery. Their rebellion, beginning in 1173, was, according to William, nothing more than divine punishment. William also claimed that the premature death of two of Henry's sons, Henry the Young King and Geoffrey, before Henry's own death in 1189, was also part of God's wrath. But of course, early death in the Middle Ages was hardly unusual. Obviously, William's assessments are dubious, but many witnesses to the events of the reign of Henry II would have shared similar sentiments, as they sought to find an explanation for the rapid decline of a reign that had begun in such stunning fashion.